What's popping, y'all? We got the work. I never thought I'd have to utter those words for the streaming industry of all places, but the paperwork is here because Mizkif decided to sue the people that came for his head top. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar living under a rock, I did a video on it a couple of days ago, and everyone else was talking about it, but this girl, Emiru, she was dating this guy, Mizkif, and she dropped this huge nuke of an expose of him allegedly essaying her, quote unquote, him being violent towards her, him doing just like utterly ruining his reputation beyond repair after he had already suffered an incident where people were accusing him of covering up an essay that he had handled in court. And it looks like he's coming back to court because initially what happened was he said that, he's about to go mask off and he's about to take a lot of people down. And probably his lawyer hit his phone and said, hey, brother, take it easy, because he has not streamed since. He has not said much of anything since. And now he's come back with this. And this is, we've got the paperwork. He decided to sue a couple of different people and entities. So Matthew Renato, also known as Mizkif, he's suing Emily Beth Skunk, that is Emiru, Zach Hoyt, which is Asmongold, who has been teasing the expose of Mizkif for weeks before it actually happened. OTK Media, which is the organization that Mizkif founded, that Emily Beth Emiru is also a co-founder of. Asmongold is also a co-founder of, and a couple of other people, including this guy, what's his name? I forgot, the gigantic Indian looking dude. I don't know if he's actually Indian with the big mustache. Asfand. Yes. Can't believe I forgot his name. And I think one or two other people. Rich Campbell is one of them as well. And he's suing OTK because they, keep in mind, and Mythic Talent Management and King Gaming Labs. So Starforge PCs, which is a company that's underneath OTK that Mizkif is a part owner of, is a very, very successful PC company. And he talked about it in the couple of interviews he did before this massive expose happened. And that company makes a ton of money, I think tens of millions of dollars. And what happened was OTK said that Mizkif is no longer, like, they put out this statement on Twitter that said he was no longer a part owner, but they really can't get rid of him that easily. So I was wondering what would happen with that, but we would get what would happen. So for the first couple of pages, they're just saying like the jurisdictions and stuff like that. So the plaintiff is Mizkif, his company, he's in LA, his company is in, I believe, LA. Yeah, it's in LA, and then OTK is a Delaware company, but they operate out of Austin, Texas. And the rest of these people are in Austin, Texas, or a little bit north of Austin, Texas. And then now they start to give the background, which is what we got to go through, because I think Mizkif is uniquely harmed by this more than most other streamers would be. So it says factual background. For the past decade, Matthew Renato has been working tirelessly to build a career in the demanding live streaming and content creation field, primarily on YouTube, a video sharing platform, and Twitch, a live streaming platform. Well, it was Twitch before YouTube, but yeah. Well, actually, no, he started on YouTube, associated with Twitch, but then blew up on Twitch and circled back to YouTube. Through years of effort, Renato built his online presence under the handle Mizkif, leading him to a multi-million follower presence across various social media platforms. Renato's entire professional life has, during all relevant times, centered around streaming and content creation. Renato became one of the most successful creators on Twitch, facts, with a following of 2.2 million viewers as of October 2025. He was known for collaborating with other streamers, playing video games. He was more known for collaborating with other streamers than he was playing games. He would play games here and there, but the reason why I say that Mizkif is uniquely harmed by this more than anyone else is because there wasn't someone that gained more from collaborating than Mizkif. His content was covering drama, calling other streamers, having other streamers appear, having other people appear at his place or in his stream, etc., being introduced. He was more of like a community stream than a video gaming stream, as opposed to, for example, an XQC or an Asmongold that built their huge fan bases, respectively, off of two different games. One was World of Warcraft for Asmongold and initially Overwatch for XQC, and discussing various issues with his followers and subscribers through Twitch's chat feature. In 2021, he won Best Just Chatting Streamer at the Streamer Awards. The community that Ronaldo developed, I'm just going to refer to these people by their names so you don't get confused and you don't have to remember. Along with his industry connections with other streamers, his personal reputation, and his business goodwill allowed him to develop a successful business with multiple income streams from subscribers, ad placements on his videos, sponsorships, and more. In 2020, along with certain other high-profile streamers, Mizkif founded the One True King media brand and incorporated Defendant OTK, which he remains a part owner of to this day. So here we're getting legal documentation despite what the Twitter tweet said on OTK's official thing, which, Mizkif's not a co-owner. It says here, legally, he is a co-owner still. Defendant Emiru joined the OTK ownership in 2022. Through the acts and omissions described below, defendants Emiru, Asmongold, and OTK have, acting in concert, wrongfully and baselessly accused Mizkif of serious criminal activity for no purpose other than to harm him, his reputation, and his business, and wrest from him control of the companies that he helped build. Mizkif and defendant Emiru began dating in 2022. The relationship was not easy on either side. They would routinely face harassment from Emiru's followers, some of whom were stalking her. They got into arguments regularly, and Emiru threatened to extinguish herself in many of these arguments. Emiru would dress and behave in ways that Mizkif thought made her unsafe in light of the ongoing stalking from some of her followers. At the end of the relationship, Emiru expressed her desire to marry Mizkif and raise children within the next 5 years. That's also a thing people seem to gloss over, is that he broke up with her both times. Mizkif, contemplating the tumultuous nature of their relationship to that point, could not agree to do so. He called off their relationship and moved from Austin to LA in January of 2025. 10 months later, on October 24, 2025, Emiru hosted a live stream on Twitch. On the live stream, she lied and baselessly accused Mizkif of psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, SA, and threats of blackmail. These slanderous accusations were made live before an audience of tens of thousands and have since been viewed millions of times across various platforms. In the same live stream, Emiru gives accounts of their relationship that clearly do not support the allegations she levied. For example, in her own description of the purported SA, Emiru states she and Mizkif were kissing, he tried to initiate intercourse, she made clear she did not want to, and he stopped, respecting the line that she had drawn. And then they have a quote from here where she talks about the situation. He aggressively shoved his hands down my pants and I screamed, and when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat. Doesn't sound like somebody that wanted to continue saying. Nonetheless, she continued to defend Mizkif and portray him as a perpetrator of SA in a video she knew full well would be viewed by millions, and she knew that it would be interpreted in that way as well. That very same day, OTK sent Mizkif a letter purporting to terminate his interest in the company. OTK claimed it was entitled to do so based on the nature of Emiru's allegations. Emiru is the handle under which defendant Shunk operates her streaming and content creation business. OTK's letter is attached in the later exhibits. This letter asserted a number of breaches of the owner's agreement. No such breaches occurred. Nonetheless, OTK asserted that it was reclaiming his 1.1 million shares of OTK without payment. So they weren't going to buy him out. They weren't going to pay him out silently behind the scenes. They just said, hey, man, get your behind up out of here. It's wraps for you. This letter further asserted Mizkif owed amounts in excess of $600,000 to Mythic for, quote, management fees related to the purported breaches that did not occur. Through OTK, Mythic demanded repayment of these allegedly owed fees. Okay, so now I'm kind of getting an idea of why this guy really wanted to sue. They wanted him to pay $600K after ruining his career, or putting out a statement that was going to ruin his career and kicking him out of a company he helped found. Further, the letter falsely asserted Mizkif violated his agreement with King, purported to claim Mizkif's 93,000 shares of stock in King, and demanded payment of $296,401.92 as a result of purported breaches that, again, did not occur. Mythic, which is a management company, King, and OTK made no serious investigation or inquiry into the basis for or truth of Emiru's allegations before repudiating their agreements with plaintiffs. Indeed, Mythic, King, and OTK did not even ask Mizkif for comment or any information in his possession disproving the allegations. Instead, a few days after Emiru's defamatory livestream, OTK, perpetuating the defamation, put out a statement on X that it fully supports its co-owner and sister, Emiru, and stands by her side and admires her strength in coming forward and sharing her story. In the statement, OTK falsely claimed it had terminated its relationship with Mizkif some time ago for reasons unrelated to the recent events. This is what I thought was fishy. When this statement first came out on Twitter, I was like, whoa, this is very unprofessional, number one. And number two, there's no way that Mizkif was just going on a press run where he was pretty much trying to clear his name for the events that happened in 2022, because while within the streaming community, people found out what happened and they were like, oh, I guess he didn't cover up this essay, the broader community of people that knew his name still associated him with that. So he wanted to clean up his reputation, be like, hey, look, in the court of law, I was found not guilty of all of this stuff that people are saying that I did. And he was trying to spread that and pretty much get the ball rolling with his career again. And he had brought new life into it, doing this West Coast Customs thing and fixing up a car, and a new era of his content that didn't involve collaborations with many people. So for them to kick him out, I'm like, there's no way that if he was already kicked out, he wouldn't go on these podcasts talking about it like that. Asmongold, who streams under the handle Asmongold, is a part owner of OTK. Since Emiru's live stream, Asmongold has continuously defamed Mizkif on a near daily basis. He has claimed inter alia Mizkif should be in jail, claimed he was manipulating others and harming others, hurting other people, and becoming an aggressor. For example, in a live stream that has since been uploaded to YouTube where it garnered 1.9 million views as of the date of this filing, Asmongold states directly that Mizkif was the aggressor and abuser in the relationship with Emiru. Asmongold would then qualify his statement by saying, at least allegedly, but disclaim that disclaimer itself by saying he has to say that for legal reasons. Asmon, on a near daily basis, reaffirmed the, quote, truth of Emiru's allegations before his millions of followers. Asmon also claimed on his live stream that there was another, again unspecified, act of misconduct that was the reason Mizkif was removed from OTK. This is in direct contrast to OTK's own account as provided in its letter of October 24th. Asmongold falsely accused Mizkif of threatening Emiru's employees at TwitchCon, a recent streaming convention, and Asmon has enriched himself personally by advertising revenues and subscription fee. He's getting a bag. He showed how much money he was making on Kick. He was making $150K off of Kick, and off of YouTube, he's eating like crazy. He's getting at least an M a video, and he's dropping once, twice, 3 times a day? Garnered from his smear campaign against Mizkif. Even some of Asmon's own viewership noted he was, quote, drama baiting for views. The combined coordinated attack actions of Emiru, Asmon, OTK, Mythic, and King have caused serious and lasting damage to Mizkif's personal reputation and his business. Since the defamation occurred, Mizkif has been losing followers and subscribers on a daily basis. Mizkif anticipates the loss of existing sponsorships and increased difficulty in securing future sponsorships. Regretfully, the extreme nature of the misconduct here has compelled Mizkif to file suit. And here they just have the breaches, so they got defamation, amongst other things. And then he wants damages. So he's asking for damages for reputational harm, loss of goodwill, and including attorney fees. So this will be some very, very interesting things that I think this is the only thing that he could have done, because Mizkif realized that he had burned a lot of bridges. And my opinion on this thing, as I've given before, is I think Mizkif was a guy that was going to do anything to enrich himself and did not care about other people, was distrusting of other people because he was willing to betray other people if it meant enriching himself. One of the examples being him urging Twitch to ban gambling at a time when Pokimane and Hassan were also people that were campaigning against gambling. And Trainwrecks TV, somebody that had supported Mizkif in the past, and others who had these gambling sponsorships, he was pretty much throwing a wrench in their operation. And then what would happen years later? Mizkif would take the deal himself with the same company that Trainwrecks was working with. Now, for example, Pokimane and Hassan, neither of them ended up taking a gambling deal, so they stuck on their word and their principle. But Mizkif switched up. And I think what happened with Mizkif is that he just had no more friends because he either kept so many secrets from people, such as his own girlfriend that he was with for over a year and a half, that he wouldn't even tell his closest quote-unquote friends / roommates in the own house, so that he created a doggy door for her to go directly from his room to her room that people didn't know about. And on top of that, this distrust, even people that were friends with him and don't know what to think about the situation aren't going to come out and defend him. The best they're going to do is stay out of it because there's no incentive, because he wouldn't be defending them in a scenario like that. So for him to be able to recover, he has to put out this lawsuit. And then at this point, we're going to see it play out in court. And they did accuse him of some stuff that was damn near criminal. It's like there's no police report of any of these events, but you're accusing him of it. And there was no lawsuit. It wasn't as if there were some civil lawsuit against Mizkif by Emiru for him, quote unquote, essaying her. So we finally got the Drake of it's a 20v1 right here that Mizkif is on. We got the Drake of the streaming industry, and I want him to win this, just on some villain stuff. I just want him to win like the villain. Like, he's fighting back. He's not laying down and getting run over like they want him to, like Asmongold wants him to. And it's clear that Asmongold has some sort of a personal issue with him, because while they are what's also crazy is seeing the addresses of like where these guys' businesses are. Like, I was living right next to these guys the whole time that this was going on. I don't live there anymore, but I was living, like, these people were right around my block and all this chaos was going on, which is kind of funny to think about. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think this was a good approach by him, or should he have just laid down and took the L? I personally think he can come back from this, and the fact that they wanted him to pay after they were kicking him out, I would be livid as well. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'm see y'all in the next one.